This 2001 cosmic horror comedy is a little disturbing and kind of funny. The Seed. We start with our three main characters, Deirdre, Charlotte, and Heather. They are going to stay at Heather's dad's beautiful vacation home in the desert. It's in the middle of nowhere, so typical horror movie setting. Deirdre is your typical Instagram look at what I'm doing vlogger. Disrespectful, rude, and a little annoying. Charlotte, she seems like she will be the final girl right from the start. She is intelligent for the most part, nice, and shy. She works at a pet shop back home and is not fond of technology. She still has an old phone off the grid. I wonder if that will affect the plot later. And finally, Heather. She really doesn't have much of a personality other than being the rich friend, but at least she's nice though. Right at the beginning, Deirdre mentions a very special meteor shower that will be going to happen that night. So, a little bit of foreshadowing. The first day there, they sit around the pool, smoke, and talk a little. Not much happens until the meteor shower that night. Charlotte and Heather are both watching it, but Deirdre is more worried about being able to film it for her followers and cannot get a signal. So they watch for a while, then get some drinks to relax, and the other girls mention not having signals either because of the shower. That's when, out of the sky, something drops into the pool right beside them.
Oh my God!
They of course don't know what it is because it looks like a big hunk of shit or something. Charlotte thinks it may be a meteor. I've never seen a meteor that floats, but what do I know? Heather wants it out of the pool immediately because it appears to be leaking and she doesn't want it to mess up her dad's pool. So they fish it out pretty easily and it stinks, so Deirdre thinks it's a big hunk of shit from a plane. Well, I did a little research about sky turds myself. Even though most airlines have switched to vacuum toilets, there are still a lot of old models in the sky that use the old blue water. They are not allowed to eject it on purpose anymore, but since just the US has 44,000 flights a day, there are still leaks. So yes, we still do get falling turds from the sky, and they can be heavy and dangerous. Okay, back to the movie. They next notice it has a weird little face, kind of like a mole or turtle, so naturally they think it's an animal, but they have no idea what it is. Then their phones go all buggy and shut off, but they don't pay much attention to this. They just assume it's magnets from the meteor shower. Oh, and Charlotte's phone being off the grid? Apparently it meant nothing because it shuts off too. They decide to worry about what to do with the thing in the morning. Well, in the morning, the little lump is not where they left it, so they think maybe coyotes drug it away? They follow its, slug trail and find it in the yard. That's when we are introduced to Brett. He is there hired by an agency to do landscaping. Well, actually his brother is the one that's supposed to be doing the landscaping, but his brother is sick, so Brett is filling in. That explains why Brett is 15 years old. They then ask Brett if he can take the turtle lump away for them. They offer him $150 and a link of pics of Deirdre. He turns this offer down, but he is a hormonal teen, so he asks for a kiss from one of the girls. So all he wants is a kiss from them and he will take it away. I guess I understand that from his perspective, but I think it's a little weird that the girls agree to it. I don't know, is that normal, girls? Would you kiss a 15-year-old for him to remove your mole turd? Let me know what you think in the comments. Charlotte seems a little more into the kiss than she should be. Evidently the mole thing increases women's sexual energy. Okay, so next Brett attempts to take the mole turtle away, but it's apparently extremely heavy. It then screeches to life and Brett hits the road. Deirdre then says it's sick and we need to kill it. She says people shoot horses and dogs all the time when they're sick. But I don't think that's accurate. They do still think it's dying though, so they decide to take it away from the house. It takes all three of them though to drag it because it's so heavy. Next they have a little photo shoot by the pool, then they go to bed. That night, Charlotte is awoken by the thing shrieking in the yard. She goes out to check on it and somehow is able to carry it into the house. Apparently it can change its mass or whatever. It is an alien. She gives it some milk like a baby, then just leaves it there on the floor and goes back to bed. Here, I really think they were going with, oh, it's just a cute baby, but later, the juxtaposition of it being kind of disgusting and weird. In the morning, Deirdre finds it on the floor in the living room, and neither her nor Heather want it there. They tell Charlotte to get it out of the house. She tries, and it makes itself heavy again, so she can't move it. Plus, it starts shrieking uncontrollably, so they don't really want to try to move it. So next they tell Charlotte that she has to go into town to get someone to remove the thing and get their phones fixed. They don't have a proper vehicle to drive all the way to town, but Heather's dad has a buggy. The plan is for Charlotte and Heather to drive to a neighbor's house, Edna, to ask for a ride into town from a proper vehicle. You might think, why don't they just take the buggy to town? But they are in the desert, so maybe it's pretty far away. I don't know. While they are gone, the thing wakes up Deirdre, so she attempts to get rid of it with some rat poison. It puts her in a trance, and she drops the glass with the poison in it. Then we cut back to Charlotte and Heather getting to Edna's house. Immediately, Heather can tell something is wrong because Edna's large dog is not going crazy like it usually does when anyone arrives. They get no answer at the door, but it swings open, so they go inside. So it seems Edna was very into watching the sky, and she was aware of the meteor shower, so I'm thinking Edna or her doggy are not doing too well now. The girls can't find her, so they leave and go back to Heather's dad's house. When they get back, they tell Deirdre, and she is acting a little strange. She is very relaxed and doesn't care that they can't get the phones back on. She also doesn't mind that the turtle thing is there anymore. So yeah, Dee is a little out of it. It's kind of obvious that the thing did something to her, but we have no idea what yet. She then starts eating a lot more than usual, then exercising a lot for the rest of the day. That night, Heather wakes up hearing some strange sounds. She goes to investigate, and I will warn you, this is where things start to get real weird and kinda gross. She then sees some crazy shit in the living room. The mole thing has expanded its body, and Deirdre is kind of absorbed by it, and she appears to be enjoying herself very much. So this appears to be its goal, to inseminate our women. Heather is about to scream, then the thing notices her. It puts her into a trance as well, and she removes her clothes and joins them in the gross flesh pile. It shows flashes of what the girls are seeing during this. It's like a trip hallucination with flashes of the cosmos, I guess. The next morning, now both the girls are relaxed and feeling great. They move the mole thing into Heather's room. They are both content to just lay around, but Charlotte still wants to go home. So she takes the buggy to Edna's again. Her plan is to just take Edna's truck, but the keys are not in it. So she goes back into the house to find them. She discovers Edna's notebook, and it looks like she was very aware of the mole thing. Charlotte then finds Edna's body beside the house. She is on her way back to the house to tell the girls, and the girls are acting a little strange. She tells them about Edna and not finding the keys, and they don't seem to care much. So Charlotte goes to check on the alien turtle in Heather's room, and it tries to put her into a trance. It gets very close to absorbing her for sexy time, but she snaps out of it. Now that this has happened, she can see it for what it really is, and she immediately goes to tell the other girls. Whatever that thing injects into their brain must be really nice, because they just say, "Nah, it's fine, don't worry about it. We could probably just make some money off it." Charlotte sees that it is obviously dangerous, but it is too late. Deirdre is preggers, and so is Heather. And now they are leaking and convulsing. So now Charlotte says, okay, time to kill it, but it's in control of the girls now, so they knock her out. When Charlotte wakes up, it shows her what will happen and why it's there. It shows her after the girls give birth, it will take over Earth. I believe it's a hive mind, or maybe not. I guess the species would still want to take over either way, if it could communicate with its offspring or not. Okay, so now Charlotte says time to kill it again, and she splatters it good. The other two girls have wandered off into the desert, so to stop this infection, Charlotte has to take care of them. She finds Heather and hits her with the car, and is forced to splatter her good too. She spots Deirdre, but the buggy won't start, so she can't just hit her with the car. So they gotta fight. Just then, a truck pulls up and sees them struggling with each other, so just before Charlotte can put an end to Dee, Truckman shoots her. He runs up and is all like, "Miss, are you okay? I mean, look at her, man. What do you think?" He picks her up and starts carrying her back to his truck, when Charlotte, having been shot in the shoulder, wakes up. She looks over to see that poor, naive Truckman is already dead. She grabs her stick thing again, and she is off to find Deandra. The gun is sitting on the seat, so she grabs that instead. Dee is already starting to mutate behind the truck. Charlotte goes to her and she says, "I feel amazing."
I feel amazing.
And so Charlotte says, "Sorry, Dee," and puts her down.
Sorry, Dee.
So the world is saved and all is well. Oh wait, shit. Lots of meteors. Well, that's it, I guess. We all die. Sad ending. I would be interested in knowing what the little alien moles do with men. You think maybe they castrate them or enslave them? I don't know, what do you think? I'm assuming they probably just get rid of them, but I guess it doesn't matter since they just take over everything anyway. Okay, if you enjoyed me telling you about a movie, then maybe watch another one I did, if you want. It would really help if you left a like too. Have a wonderful day.